Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Scott Jennings is absolutely the best thing that ever happened to CNN, and he permanently proves why Jeff Duncan deserves to be Jeff the Dunce Cap Duncan. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. Even though Trump won the election, we need to protect our wealth with gold and other precious metals as much as possible, and that's what Colonial Metals Group can do for you.
If we're being intellectually honest, there's really no good reason why Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., should be HHS secretary. An advisor, a confidant, somebody who talks to the president and advises, but there's no managerial experience in his resume. There's nothing that says he is qualified to do this job that is in charge of the health of all of us, all these different lanes. If he has views and has insights around food sources, around vaccines, then those should be given in advisory roles.
Why?
Well, because...
Well, what were the qualifications of the previous ones?
Well, I think it's important to always remember that you put yourself... Say that again?
What were the management qualifications? I mean, Xavier Becerra...
I'm not talking about the previous. I'm looking forward.
But you're calling into question whether he could actually do this job. And I think it's...
Absolutely. I think America is now, and I think
it's important to discuss it, because Xavier Becerra was just a lawyer and a politician with no management experience.
So does two negatives, two wrongs make a right?
Sylvia Burwell was a Walmart lobbyist. Donna Shalala was a university person. Look,
RFK Jr. is a nut.
Okay, so that's different than what you just said. You just said he doesn't possess the requisite managerial experience, but then we get to the real issue here, which is you want to insult the man, which is your right to do because you opposed him in the election. But you, Doctor, are raising the issues that he has been raising, and I think they're appropriate questions to raise. I don't know whether he can be confirmed or not. The vaccine stuff at the table is obviously going to be the flashpoint of this hearing. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you one thing. This whole issue of the CDC and these public health agencies, look, public trust in the health regime in this country is as low as it's ever been.
But why, Scott?
Because of COVID.
Right.
Because of school closures. Because of mask mandates. Because this country was... But let me just finish. Because this country was drugged through a bunch of condescending and heavy-handed mandates that all turned out to be garbage, and that's why it's low, and the questions are valid.
And RFK is the answer to all of that.
Yeah, but RFK helped promote the assault on the CDC that lowered the disinformation that led to more than a million deaths, Scott. More than a million deaths in the United States, higher than any other industrialized nation per capita. That's the result of failed policies, the demonization of the conspiracy theories.
Whose policies?
He has no solutions. None. And the only thing he's put forward, I mean, Scott, could you tell me what his economic plan is to lower inflation in less than 10 seconds?
Yeah, extend the tax cuts, fight for American workers, get the immigration system under control, stop spending out of control out of the federal budget, lower inflation, also unleash American energy to drive.
I asked you what he was going to do to lower inflation.
I know that was like 15. That was 15 seconds.
No, inflation. not increase the economy, but lower inflation. The intellectually honest answer is don't spend $8 trillion you don't have.
I know, man. I love it. Yeah, I know you got your stump that you love to polish on the. It's over. The campaign was like weeks ago.
Yeah, but being an American's not over. Wrecking the country is not over. Our future.
You're right. You're right. And he won the election. And being an American is not over.
So hold him accountable.
And I would
as a conservative, hold him accountable.
And I would hope that
you would hope
that this
just
presidency is
run
successful.
as a conservative.
You want it to fail. I want it to succeed.
All right, Jeff Duncecap Duncan, that is your official nickname now, and I can say that I'm a Georgia boy who warned all my friends and family in the primaries, do not vote for Jeff Duncan. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's doing. And if you want to talk credentials, by the way, if you want to have the gall to talk about credentials, why did you, Jeff Duncan, run for lieutenant governor, a job that you were not qualified for? The lieutenant governor of Georgia is very unique when it comes to state legislatures, because the lieutenant governor's job is to basically run the state senate. Jeff Duncan was a state representative, which has about a third of the constituents of the state senators. He was not qualified. And yet, because he had a pretty face and was sort of an outsider, even though David Schaefer was a much better candidate who was fantastic as a senator, knew his stuff, would have made a great lieutenant governor, no. The primary voter had to go with Jeff Duncan, who then stabbed every single one of them in the back. And then, after he was kicked out of Georgia politics, he wrote this asinine book called GOP 2.0. Guess what, bub? GOP 2.0 has come. And it has come with RFK Jr. talking about making America healthy again. And to which you clutch your pearls and go, oh, RFK Jr. is a nut. Hey, y'all. I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon. but my parents are, and friends of my parents are. And I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. Well, yeah, a wealthy Kennedy is, you can always, if you're a wealthy Kennedy, you can always know that this person's going to be a little bit crazy, all right? Leaving your girlfriend at the bottom of a river and then being able to become a senator later, yeah, that's a little bit crazy in my book. Then the sneaking prostitutes underneath the tunnels into the White House, yeah, that's a little crazy in my book. But you know what? I can forgive that, because those men actually delivered on what they were promising, and I trust RFK Jr. to do the same. Even though, yes, he has done some crazy things. He's joked about having brainworms. You know what he's not joked about? Environmental policies, which can threaten our health and livelihood, and not to mention, and more importantly, making America healthy again, which is focused all around the extra additives that keep on getting planted in our foods, Jeff. You think you know that, but I think you've eaten so many of these processed food that's addled your brains. Folks, if you go back and watch the body language during this whole debate, Jeff Duncan is sitting there like a slack-jawed idiot. Seriously, he looks like this the whole time. And then he's got this wide, bug-eyed look like he has no idea what Scott Jennings is trying to tell him. Because Jeff Duncan knows that his gravy train completely relies on CNN giving him money because no one bought his GOP 2.0 book, no one's buying that shtick, and no one thinks that that makes him a conservative. No, Jeff, if you aren't conserving anything, you're not a conservative. Get a different name, get a different label. I apologize from the state of Georgia for electing this moron, for lack of a better word. There's a reason why I call him Jeff the Dunce Cap Duncan, because this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And that's why CNN has him on, because he's this little token guy that they get to set up and say, look, here's the good little Republican. He's talking about how the orange man is bad. Oh, and that RFK Jr. guy that actually cares about your health. By the way, RFK Jr. put out a video a couple of months ago tackling yellow dye 5 and how it's made from quite literal coal deposits. Coal. Okay? It is a petroleum product. That is a problem. Humans are not meant to consume petroleum. Okay? You'd think that you'd actually care about that, Jeff, but no, you've probably consumed enough of that product that, again, your mind has turned to mush and brainworms wouldn't even bother inside your head. I'm sorry for going off on this rant, but I despise Jeff Duncan. I am a Georgia boy. I tried to get this guy away from office. I had friends in the David Schaefer campaign, and they were so disappointed when one of the most qualified politicians lost to one of the most unqualified men I think I've ever seen, and I've worked in the Georgia State Legislature. So, CNN, of course, is Atlanta-based, and they tapped Jeff Duncan, and I've already explained all this, but ultimately, right there at the end, I need to address this as well. He gave Scott Jennings a 10-second window on how Trump is going to lower inflation, and Scott Jennings knocked it out of the park. And yet you have Jeff Duncan sitting there slack-jawed, not believing what's going on, and then he goes, well, how does that lower inflation? What do you mean? removing illegal immigrants that should not be here, that frees up more, that actually takes out some American dollars and then replaces them with actual American labor. That's a good thing right there off the top of the bat. If you want to lower inflation, you need to increase the economy, because inflation is too much money chasing too few goods. Well, guess what? If there are more goods, no more inflation. This is a simple concept, and Jeff Duncan is too stupid to understand that. Maybe that's why he's really on CNN, because this man probably walked around in elementary school with a dunce cap on his head. Okay? I think this name really needs to stick. Jeff Dunce Cap Duncan. Scott Jennings put him in the corner where he belongs, and Jeff, I mean this with all sincerity, retire, go home, teach your kids how to play baseball, and maybe they could be in the minor leagues just as you are, because you will never, ever see the majors in either politics or baseball. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one, and I need a dunce cap.